Union. She's also celebrating her birthday today. So Marilyn Herman, happy birthday to you. This is from your cousin Yaslin. All right. So Marilyn Herman, happy birthday to you. All right.
And let's say good morning to DBS as well and the crew.
Oh, so they're on.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, DBS. As always, we don't take what you do for granted. We really do appreciate the fact that you're carrying our show on your esteemed TV station. So we really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, a couple of little things, Lady J. On the weekend, I was listening to my favorite radio station, REV-UP St. Lucia.
You had me looking up. I'm wondering. Okay.
And I heard a song which I haven't played for quite a while. And I think it's because when I'm on the air now, I tend to be more 21st century. I don't really play too much of the old school compared to Tony. Tony played a lot of old school when he was on the air. I tend to be more with what's happening, current thing. You know, that's more my vibe right now. So, but I do play old school in between, right? Yeah, you do. Yeah, in between. So, but not as much as I used to before. So Saturday, I was there listening to REV-UP, and I heard a song during our automation period by the Mighty Sparrow, which I haven't heard for quite a while. It's called Wanted Dead or Alive. You remember that song by Sparrow? Yeah, but I you have to remind me how it would go again. Gary is a wanted man. Yes. Who else he mentioned in the song, right? Yeah. And I'm listening to this song, and of course it reminded me of back then when that song came out, and it was really, really popular back in the day. And again, you know, we see your perspective changes over the years, and you start to see things differently. And I said to myself, but can you imagine that? Whoever wrote that song for Sparrow, right? Definitely you could see those people were kind of brainwashed at the time to see the worldview, right, in a particular manner. And let me explain. And I challenge you to go listen to the song and see where I'm coming from, right? Okay, because you say brainwashed, so I'm wondering. Yeah, they were brainwashed. Yeah, all those people who wrote those songs back in the day, and I guess Sparrow is singing it, and obviously, I guess maybe he didn't write it, unless he did, I don't know. But back in the day, that was a very, very popular song. I played it a lot. Again, my worldview was different at the time. I didn't see things the way I see it right now. You know, in that song, I challenge you to go listen to it. 99% of the names mentioned as the bad boys back in the day were from Africa. 99% of the names you hear in that song are African leaders who the world at that time perceived as the bad boys. Not one leader from the West is ever mentioned. Not one. And you can't tell me you had a bunch of perfect leaders from the West at that time either, right? But the Africans, every single name from Gaddafi, okay, the Shah of Iran, I mean, you name it, every one of them. These are, well most, Middle Eastern, African leaders at that time who they considered to be the bad boys. So a song like that, for me right now, I can't play that anymore. Okay, but Andre, you just said back then. Yeah. So maybe back then it was what it was. That's why the song was written. No. We need to know the year as well, huh, Andre? That's what I said. That our worldview at the time, we were basically brainwashed. We thought that these African leaders were the bad boys. That's what we were told. And I believe that. I actually believe that. I'm saying to you, at that time there, I'm sure they were bad Western leaders as well. But Sparrow never mentioned not one of them, not one. And I challenge you to listen to that song. No, listen, you don't have to challenge me to do that. I'll listen. Yeah, listen to it. All right, maybe I think he mentioned maybe a Central American. You want me to listen to it with an open mind, then you can challenge me to do that. But you don't have to listen to it with an open mind. Just listen to it and you'll hear what I'm talking about. That is mainly African leaders. I'm saying whoever the writer was of that song, a brainwashed individual. Yeah, because back then we listened to songs and we didn't really grasp what the storyline was. Yes, exactly. Right now we do, Yeah, exactly. Because our knowledge has been increased and so on. Our worldview has changed. So that song, I can never play that again. Because back then we were more into the rhythm. We were not into the lyrics. That too. We would sing the chorus, but not sing it knowing what it said. Like one day, for example, I was singing a dance hall, and my daughter said, "Mommy, you know what you're saying?" Andre, it was a real nasty song. Really? I didn't even know that. No, it's just, And then, because she listens to the lyrics.
And I think that is what made me listen more to lyrics when she told me that. Yeah, and I was like, ouch, you know, it had a really nice beat and so on. And, you know, I was not singing it the right way anyway, because I obviously didn't know what they were saying. I was just, when you sing sometimes for yourself, you put in your own words and you just know you're doing good. But hey, you know, when you're in your bathroom, Beyonce have nothing on you. That's what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I was just enjoying myself singing the song.
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
because some of the songs really do have an infectious beat, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
yeah,
infectious
yeah.
beat. So you don't really care about the lyrics.
Nah, you're just enjoying yourself.
At the time.
Yeah.
Because
So I know what you're saying. So
Yeah.
it's good. I will definitely listen.
Because when you contrast that song with a song like, for example, Bob Marley's doing War, okay, that's a different level. You see, Bob Marley, he was way ahead of his time.
Well, he did a lot of Bibles kind of songs.
Exactly.
You could see that was a man who studied the Bible. So most of his songs, all the words would really come from the Bible.
And
as I see.
and that song there, War, he says something in the song. He says, what's to the effect that until
the philosophy
which holds one man superior over another, right? You see them as inferior, there will always be war. All right? So that's powerful, really, really powerful.
All his songs.
Until the color of a man's skin is no more significant than the color of his eyes, things like that. Okay, there will be war. Deep stuff. So now when you see your worldview has changed and your knowledge has increased and so on, and you begin to see those things in a completely different light. So Bob Marley was way ahead of his time. Way ahead of his time.
Soul.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So great man, Brother Bob. Okay, so you know, last week I played a little funny thing at the end of the show last week, and I got a few messages, a few calls,
I
people
saw that
asking,
on Facebook,
saying that, you know, why don't I have the PSD resistors as I used to before, you know? So what I decided to do, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was saying, when you say repeat and say it slow and spell it for me.
The PSD resistance?
Yes. How do you say that? What's that P?
I can't spell that.
Because some people had PER. That's why I didn't know what that was until you said, oh, that's what they're talking about. So I just wanted the spelling, you know, what is it? P, is it a initials or is it an actual word?
1 second.
You know, just an actual word we're looking for. So I was wondering what they were saying when they asked for it on Facebook, and then you got it and you said it, you know. But
okay, all right. It's pronounced PSD resistance. Okay,
no,
so it's spelled
spell it.
It's spelled PIECE.
Oh, PIE.
CE.
So
DE.
PIECE.
Right.
DE.
RES.
Oh, the same the way you spell
resistance. Yeah,
Okay.
RESISTANCE. So it's pronounced PSD resistance. So back in the day, we had the PSD resistance, which means the best part of a meal, that sort of thing, or the best part of something. So I thought about it. I said, you know something? I still have quite a few videos. I think they're a little funny. So I think I'd like to share those videos and those audio clips with our listeners. So I thought of it on the weekend. I said, but what would I call it? I don't want to call it PSD resistance again.
Shouldn't.
So I decided to call it the icing on the cake. Yeah, the icing on the cake. So I have a little thingy there which I'll play before we end. All right.
Okay.
So I hope our listeners will enjoy it. Okay, so that's hopefully going to be a regular feature on Harddrive. All right,
Well,
it's going to be the icing on the cake.
Well, as long as it's not music, because remember we're on Facebook.
No, not music at all.
Okay.
Yeah, far from that.
All right.
Alrighty, so that's it. So yeah, so we have
Icing on the cake. Okay.
So Lady J, Friday evening, I'm sure you're aware that there was apparently a major blackout across the country. I remember there was a similar one back in 2022 when that happened across the country. So they must have had some, I imagine maybe later today, Lucelek will explain exactly what transpired. But I was home, let me see, what time was it, Wajay?
It was
late afternoon?
5-ish.
Yeah, around that time there? Yeah.
5-ish, because I was heading home.
Okay, and just power outage.
Yeah.
And next thing we found out now, it's not just the city or the north, it was all across.
Island-wide.
Yeah, that was that's something else.
Yeah.
So I tried calling, because Lucelek, one thing about them, Lucelek boy, they on the ball. They don't play. You can have numbers you can call. They'll give you information right there. You don't have to be calling and numbers just ringing. You actually get somebody who answers. Yeah, it's amazing. That's amazing. And I think that's really that's a good thing. And I hope that Wasco can get to that level as well. I'm not sure if Wasco has that number, because on the weekend we didn't have water for like 2.5 days. So I was getting a little worried because I remember there was some issue that thing they were having on the week. Was it, I think, the second, where I think the Julian R. Hunt highway was supposed to be closed for a while.
They dug a hole in there. I don't know what was happening there.
Remember that? Mm-hmm. So I said to myself, well, maybe that's what it was. I wasn't sure because it was kind of weird. So there was no explanation. There was nothing. I didn't know what was going on. My neighbors were calling me, Andre. So I decided to try calling. And when I called, I just couldn't get through. I couldn't get through. So I really hope WASCO works on that. That you have people who are concerned, who want to know.
Or put a recording
what's going on,
whatever it is at that point.
Yeah.
So when you call, you hear whatever it is.
Yeah, and the same thing for Flo. Flo does it last week there. You come, and the problem with that thing with Flo, when these things happen, these things go wrong, right? When they go wrong, you were wondering if it's your problem.
Yeah.
Right? So you go digging up in your thing now.
Right, yeah. Generally.
And that's not a cool thing.
No.
You understand? No. So I'm saying when these things happen, Flo has an easy way of letting people know, hey, this is what's going on. Right? They do it when they feel like it. You understand?
But
they should have that as policy.
The majority of times it's in a little text.
Yeah, a little something. So so you're not messing around your stuff because you thinking, oh boy, maybe it's my equipment, something went wrong there. You go digging in your stuff that you see, that kind of thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
So man, so that was a blackout. And I thought that would have affected my playing on Friday night. But then now, when I called Lucelec, they told me that the city had already received the power. Yeah.
But Andre,
so in phases it goes from the city, then of course, to my area and goes up north, further up north, etc., until everything is back to normal.
And with all of this, I hope everything here was okay.
No.
Because,
no, it was okay.
Because, sometimes we get our television blown, we get our washing machine blown, You're
right. You're right about that.
A lot of people. Now,
what we've done here at REV-UP, we've invested in a piece of equipment that is right at the back there. Okay, and what that does is that when we have the power outages, it protects the equipment.
Oh, great.
So, of course, it costs a little something, but it's there to protect the equipment.
Of course.
So if there's a power surge, again, it protects it. In addition to that, it actually keeps us on the air for about 15 to 20 minutes, just in case the power comes back. Yeah, so we have that piece of equipment.
And then it will go off lighter as opposed to a bang, which is what would happen.
Exactly.
And, of course, blow up some of the equipment.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Good thinking.
So that actually, now when we came back on, some of the, because this now is all the fancy stuff and so on. Some of the stuff didn't really come back on in the way it was supposed to. Yeah. So one of our programs, I think the Unprecedented Jesus, that program didn't go out on Sunday morning as it normally does.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I had to apologize to the producers of their program because, of course, they were concerned as to what had happened. Yeah. So, but these things happen from time to time. Yeah. But a big thank you, of course, to our engineer, Cosmos, who's always on the ball.
And he's listening right now. Good morning, Cosmos.
Yes, one of our biggest fans.
He said good morning to me.
One of our biggest fans. All right,
he said
wonderful.
Good morning to me. I saw that. Good morning. He's such a nice guy.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So Lady
But
J.
Andre, if you're talking about the electricity, then you need to talk about Computer World.
Of course, I was going to get there.
Okay.
But I was just asking what the experience was for you. Were you able to manage and so on?
Well, it happened when I was on my way home because remember I told you I had my little glam daughter. I had to take her to dance class because they had a big production on the weekend, and it was great to see her, Andre. I need to send that for you.
Of course, I'd love to see her.
You think it's your little girl that's there.
I'd love to see her. I'd love to see her.
Oh yeah. And Andre, let me tell you, what I like about well, of course, not all of them get the moves. So some might go right, some might go left, but they're small kids. They're like 7 and under or whatever. But What's funny is when they give them a move, like, gyrating, and some of the kids really get into that. All you can do is laugh. So it's really like, the little worm, and you see them doing the worm. I mean, I call it the worm. I forget what they call it in dance. I'm sorry. But that was quite funny, right? Anyway, I had some challenges, so I couldn't go there. I just couldn't go anywhere.
And by the way, let the kids do their thing, folks. Let the kids have their fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't start calling them names and things like that. What we generally used to do that stuff. I hope we do. It's not as what would I'm using for? It's not as when these things used to happen a long time ago. It was more. I'm looking for a word where it happened a lot more often than now. I'm hoping it doesn't happen as often, where we on the kids' case before the kids do a little something, a little wine here.
Well, it depends. Some of them, it's too much, Andre. Some of the kids, it's too much. It's like they're watching too much of the grown folks. So it's a bit excessive.
Well, exactly.
So,
you're watching the grown folks.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about dance class and the moves that you're doing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about watching the grown folks or watching television and there's a latest craze and that child is doing it. That's excessive. I say slow down. That's what I would say for that. But I don't think we should stop them from dancing, from learning something. It's important. Leave them alone because we never know if that's what they're going to fall on when they get older. But anyway, Andre.
But hold on. I want to make a few comments on that if you don't mind, right?
Yeah.
The children sometimes at a little age, they say some things and they do some things and adults perceive that as being jamet.
No.
You just, you this and you that.
Yeah.
You're rude. Okay? I remember one time, Nairobi used to call me by my first name. She's not the first one. Hassan used to call me by my first name as well.
Why is that?
Andre. Well, they hear other people saying it. So they just... And people tell me, oh, why are you allowing the child to call you by your first name? I said, leave the child alone. Leave him alone. Leave her alone. They'll get over it eventually, And they do get over it after a while. After they just go back to calling you daddy as they normally do.
So let me ask you, why did you allow the child to call you Andre?
Because that's my name.
So it didn't matter if they called you Andre at what age?
She must have been about maybe around 4 years old, something like that.
So what was happening at 1, 2, and 3 when she was really learning to...
It was daddy. But when she started hearing people calling me Andre, she started calling... I said, Hassani did the same thing.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they say...
So there was a reason for her calling you that.
I'm just saying that to the parents and to friends and family, right? Leave the kids alone. It doesn't mean that they're being disrespectful or anything like that. They're just in a little learning process and so on. Let me tell you something.
They're sponges. They pick up everything.
Yeah,
but I didn't have that, Andre.
I have a video. I still have it there.
always called me.
Where she's calling me, Andre, where Andre went to. I have that there. And people say, oh, why are you allowing the child to call you Andre? No, let the child do her thing. Eventually they get over it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you knew that. That's why you didn't fuss.
Yeah,
but
don't fuss.
Some persons who...
we want to come and
me dad and mom
and get on the children's case and so on. I've had met and things like that because they dance in a certain way. Leave the kids alone. They get over their thing.
They do. They will understand what the values are eventually.
Yes, so sorry if I disturbed you. Go ahead. You lost your train of thought. You're talking about the dancing with the kids and so on. Dance classes and this other thing.
I don't know, right. Andre.
Well, no problem. So, let's talk about the fire now.
The fire we are talking about. You asked me, that's it.
Yes.
You asked me about Friday, and I was telling you that I just came from dropping her off because she had a dance recital. That's how that came about. So on the way up, I was on the phone, and we got cut off on the phone on my cell. And then after that, I found out, from a friend, a girlfriend, don't want to mention her name now, but she know herself, good morning to you, sweetie, that it's an island-wide shutdown. So the first thing I did was to call hubby to let him know. I have these auto lights in my mom's room, right? So when there's no electricity, they're on. So she's got light in her room, as well as if she wakes up in the evening, there's light. So she doesn't have to put on light if she doesn't want to sleep with light, because it's not every night she wants to sleep with all the light. So I give her less light, auto lights. As soon as some of them remain on, and some of them, when you come by them, they will, like sensor lights, right? So that's what I did. And Andre, driving through was difficult for me, because remember, no street lights, only bright lights from cars. It was very difficult. And Andre, the traffic was horrendous. Andre, I told I was on the road after 5. Andre, I probably reached home a little, maybe minutes to 7. It was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that bad.
So how did the fire affect you now going up north?
No, the fire was later than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was later than that. So it was much later than that. I was home already when I got that information. So it was much later.
I was playing at the time there, so I wasn't aware that this fire had taken place. When I got home now, people shared the video, right. the images of the fire, and I realized, I said, oh my God, wow. Yeah. So first thing, I thought it was the branch we spoke about there last week. That's what I thought. But then I realized later that it was actually the one up at the border area there. So the entire, I drove up there yesterday, and I saw the remnants of that thing. Yeah. Wow, entire,
it's just a shell
building, yeah. I think I saw one fire officer who was still on the scene there. I guess, kind of mopping up operations, making sure the thing doesn't reignite. Yeah, that must,
And
my gosh.
It did, I understand.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point this thing normally happened. But wow, I mean, we don't know what the cause, and we may never know, because you know how it is in St. Lucia already. You never hear about those things. That's what causes those things.
We will hear whatever it is.
Think so?
But
I doubt it. But anyway. So yeah, we don't know how many businesses were impacted by it.
Yeah, that's true, because we know Computer World is at the bottom. But who is on the first floor and who is on the second floor?
Exactly.
I don't know. That is really sad.
I heard some people say there were lawyers, at least one lawyer's office there.
Ouch.
I'm not sure. But
and Andre, it's one thing, but the next thing is, were they insured?
I'm sure.
I'm not talking about Computer World.
Oh, you
talking
mean
about the
individual companies?
The other businesses
Good
upstairs.
question.
Yes, if they were insured, because that's it.
Good question.
You have nothing.
Good question.
You have nothing. Because if the building is insured, I don't think that the building owners have to give you something. I don't know about that. It would have to be in your contract.
That's interesting. You're asking some. These are good questions.
Yes, Andre.
Because to see you're part of a building, like here, for example, here we are. We are part of the building here.
Is the building insured? And if it's insured, are you going to get anything or whatever? So that's important too. Yeah. So for them, that is really sad, especially if they are not insured. Yeah,
boy. And a lot of us see insurance coverage as really an unnecessary evil.
Yeah, because you're giving money every month and everything in your mind is fine. Yes. But it's one day. You think Computer World thought anything would have happened when they closed shop on Friday, going home for a weekend, Saturday and Sunday? That is...
Because you never think this is going to happen to you.
And how many staff are out of work?
That's another thing again.
Because we don't know if they can put them at their other branches. We don't know that,
So talking about it, let's say good morning to the folks at Computer World, corner of Manuel Street and Jeremy Street. Yeah, and morning to Keisha as well. If I don't say good morning to Keisha,
opposite side,
I'd be in trouble.
That is really sad. That is really,
so good morning
really
to the staff there. No doubt that must be the talk since Friday.
Of course.
At the establishment, and they're still talking about it. It's a huge loss there for the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of equipment was inside of there.
But you asked a good question. We know for most likely they insured, most likely, but the separate independent businesses.
Yeah. We don't know if they went,
Wow, boy. And as I said, we see insurance as a necessary evil. Yeah. Because for a business place, I can tell you that the things that you have to be attending to, and because everything costs money. Everything costs money, and there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on businesses, especially startups. You're just starting off then, and even if you're starting up, there's nothing like a break for you. You just right now you're in a pool, and you just have to go with the flow. And for some people, it really does take a toll on you at the beginning. Right? And even those other companies, there's some companies, for example, look at NIC, the NIC payments. I genuinely believe, Lady J, right? I genuinely believe that people want to make I'm talking about the business places, right? They want to make the payments. They want to. But sometimes, again, the flow of resources coming into the organization sometimes is not as the way you'd like it to be. And there's so many other things to take care of. So people just leave those things out. And then after a while, it begins to pile up. Right? And every time
it's better to skip a month, Andre, than to keep skipping. That is the problem. When I say skip, I mean I shouldn't say skip. I should say hold off until you can. Because if you 3 months, that's a lot. 4 months is a lot. 5 months, how are you going to catch up?
Yeah, it's true. But the thing is that you're always playing catch up because there's so many other things, that you're obligated to meet. Yeah, and settle. Otherwise, you get disconnected and cut off and things like that. And sometimes, I mean, the
business places don't want to.
They don't want anything, because remember, in all fairness, they have their obligations to meet as well.
Correct.
So they apply a lot of pressure on you.
Correct.
Yeah, deadlines and things like that.
Correct.
So a lot of people just see the insurance thing. Again, if I have to, then I will. But if I don't really have to, and I can get away with it, I'll leave that for another time. And then now, you said a while ago, all it takes is just one
One day.
One day, and then everything, and you
One
say, "Oh my
moment.
God!" Yeah. Then if
But
I,
Andre,
I
even
know.
right here, you remember? I don't know if you remember that one. Even right here, there was the fire at small restaurant right here at Gilwood's Mall.
Yes.
He was not insured.
That's what I tell you.
He was
See?
not insured. He lost everything, and he had just opened the place.
And some people just open those businesses on savings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
boy, that is something else. Anyway, folks, that's food for thought, huh? Food for thought. For those of us, and I rather suspect at that time the building was vacant, huh? Most likely, when that fire occurred.
Where are you talking about? Down here at Gilwood's Mall?
No, I'm talking about the fire, but
Computer
at
World?
Bodewan's, yeah. I'm saying most
What do you
likely
mean
it was vacant.
From what?
I'm saying maybe there was nobody in the building at the time.
People.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know that. But, I mean, Computer World downstairs was already closed at the time. But I wouldn't know who.
So let me ask
I
you.
don't know the businesses.
So the
in there.
the building belongs to Computer World then, apparently, no?
I would think it belongs to the owners, yeah. Because I don't see any other name on the building and they keep calling it Computer World.
Yes.
So
most likely
I think
their
it
building.
belongs to them, yeah. I don't know.
Wow. Well, boy, you know, we're very sorry that they have to go through that.
Yeah.
And as you said there, I mean, if their lawyers' offices, their documents lost now, can never be retrieved, never be found again. I mean, so many things could have gone wrong. And as you said there, you're correct. Staff who maybe cannot be absorbed in...
Jobless for a while.
Yeah, who cannot be absorbed in the other outlets.
So,
Yeah. Wow. Okay, well, again, spare thought
Yeah.
for the folks at Computer World.
The building, let's call it the building, because remember, we're not sure what's on the first and second floor. So the whole building.
Let's hope you can rise from the ashes.
Good way to put it.
Yes, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And build back better and stronger. There's always that opportunity to do that as well. Because sometimes, you know, things are a certain level, and when you rebuild now, you do it even better.
That's one. But two, whatever caused the fire, right? Whether it was batteries or electricity or whatever, they've got to be more careful. So all of that they have to take into consideration when they rebuilding, refurbishing, whatever they're going to be doing. Very, very important.
And let's hope that the fire service can give them some concrete answers
Yeah.
as to what may have led to that situation. Yeah. Okay. I'm no doubt. And let me congratulate you, Lady J, on your interviews.
Oh.
With the exceptional ladies here in St. Lucia. I think I heard at least two of the interviews, because you know sometimes I'm on my way home and I didn't take my little rest and so on. But I think you did one with the principal of the Dupal
The
at
last
Louise
one.
School.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an interesting
that was
one.
really good. Yeah.
Interesting
she was
one.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
how do you feel about doing those interviews? I want to say bravo to you. Bravo.
Was very nice, Andre. I enjoyed it. Yeah. One or two were nervous, you know, so that first thing you have to say is, don't be nervous, you know me, it's me.
Yeah.
But I actually liked it. I would like to continue, you know.
Yeah.
So we will talk.
All right. Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah,
But you know,
actually
I listen and I
Right.
keep saying, because up to this morning I was listening to Emma Hippolyte, the Minister for Gender Affairs, and she was talking about the usual thing, discrimination and gender parity and equality and those
Equality,
kinds
for
of
sure.
things, right? I wonder if we really have a problem with that in St. Lucia. How bad do you, on a scale of 1 to 10, those things I just mentioned to you there, how would you rate St. Lucia in terms of equality,
I
discrimination?
still think it's at 50-50, Andre. We still have issues where a man would be given the job instead of a woman. A man would be paid more than a woman. It's still happening. We do have to fight for it. Or some
do you
people-
think that's more prevalent in the private sector or the public sector? That what you just mentioned, men
I think
getting
both.
the jobs
I think
before
both.
women.
I think both.
Because
areas.
okay, say for example, in the public sector, say you apply for a job as permanent secretary, right, of or whatever ministry. Now, does that come with a salary?
Yeah.
So would they discriminate and say, okay, well, because it's a woman, we're going to give the person less?
Well, I can't say to this because I would hope that they were looking for the person who is most qualified for the job, whether it's a male or a female.
Right, and there's a salary that goes with that,
Yeah,
right?
but
So when I asked you if you think it's more prevalent, the point you were making was a good point.
Yeah.
Asked if it's more prevalent in the private sector or in the public sector.
Yeah, but you stuck to one. You ask about the secretary thing. So I
Okay,
the
so
permanent secretary.
give
Speak in
me
general.
give me an example then in the public sector where you think that women could be discriminated against. when it comes to looking for a job, for example?
I can't pinpoint one.
I think the
because
problem.
I don't want to pinpoint and.
Yeah, but I think we had that problem probably more so in the private sector.
Okay, if you think so.
Yeah, because remember the private sector kind of like they run their own show kind
right,
of thing.
Yeah.
All right, and I believe there's a very great chance that that's exactly what happens in a lot of instances in the private
maybe,
sector.
but from little that I've heard on both ends, it has happened. But if it's a percentage, then of course the private would get the higher percent. You're right for that,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I think
because you have the choice.
Yeah. And I think a lot of what also happens, I think I could be wrong, and let me get your take on that, and maybe some of the chimers will chime in on that a little later. I think there's a lot of where you have those lower paid jobs where women are trying to get a job and they sort of settle for those lower paying jobs where you have men who are at the head of these kinds of organizations, and men tend to take advantage. I think that happens a lot in St. Lucia, where women have been asked, right, and maybe even forced to compromise, the integrity and so on. Yeah,
to do
the
more
sake.
than just what is supposed to be done.
Exactly.
Yes,
I think that
of
happens
course.
a lot.
Yeah, I believe that. Definitely.
Yeah.
With the same low salary, but you have to do much more.
And that's something that needs to be fought. But how do you fight something like that? Because you don't know. The ladies will not talk and tell you, who's doing it, who's not, because they're more than happy to get the job. Because imagine, I was talking to a lady one time, and the lady was telling me that, like her children's fathers, right, plural, want to sleep with her in order for them to support their children. And I remember her saying, if that's what it's got to be, well, I'd rather sleep with another man, and call it a day. Yeah, they actually say that.
Okay.
So a lot of women now, sorry, let me not say a lot of women, right? Maybe some women, quite a few, find themselves in that position. They say, something, man, this other person now is offering me, right, the job. You know what I mean? I might as well just take it. Because what's the difference when the child's father is basically doing the same thing? At least there's something for me to gain out of it. I really feel sorry sorry, let me not say sorry. I feel it for the women who have to go through that kind of thing. That's just not cool for a man to take advantage. Now, if the lady is the one making the moves on you, I'm saying, okay, fine, you feel like playing the fool. I'm not saying it's right. That I can probably understand.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be because of you giving money. That'll just be because she's trying something and you like it and you're giving. But we're talking about coming for the job. You're paying for a job, but you're adding on.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Yes,
That's
yes.
different, Andre. That's different. If at some point.
Yeah, because, sometimes a lady may genuinely, like her boss. that can happen, right?
Andre, what is like? There's like and there's love.
How you mean so she can love him? She can love him
there's
as well?
nothing wrong in her liking it. I like you, Andre.
No,
I like
no.
you as a friend.
No,
so
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that the instances where a lady will genuinely like or feel an attraction.
Meaning you feel an attraction.
To her boss. Yeah, I'm saying
These are better words.
There's nothing wrong with
feel
that.
an attraction.
But
no, nothing wrong is if you apply it.
Yeah.
That is where the issue comes in. That is where the issue comes in. Because Andre, the worst thing is getting involved with someone you work with. Andre, if you cannot control yourself, either or, it always ends in destruction. Why? Only few, like maybe Michelle Obama and things, because they always ask her that. Right? That's fine. Certain persons.
Explain that.
Because Andre...
You said it ends in destruction. Explain that, please.
Okay. For example, two people are going out. If the guy is a flirt, but he gets involved with another staff member, a new staff member comes in or whatever the reason, he gets involved with her. The two women find out.
That's what
Who
you mean.
Think going to quarrel? The man ain't going to quarrel. The two women going to quarrel. Blah blah blah. It brings tension. One of them may be told to leave the job. Maybe none of them are told because maybe it hasn't reached management. But it brings tension. So I've always said, stay away from that kind of love affair.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of that. That's the interesting point that you're making. I was just thinking about a situation where you have a man who's at the helm of an organization, right? And that could be any man, okay? And a particular lady comes along and works for him, and they develop a relationship. I'm saying...
that's a clean one. You're looking at the clean one.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I didn't think of a sparrow.
Broadnet Andre.
Taking that one, 2, 3, 4 hour.
Or sometimes the man is married and he's at work and he's seeing the staff.
Yes.
You know, it blows out of proportion, and we've got to be careful. You know.
Agree.
Yeah.
And there's some ladies who I know who have been very loyal to their bosses. Okay.
Yeah.
And it actually happens where the boss gets married to them after maybe his wife has passed, that sort of thing. They do get married again, and they get married to this very loyal employee. I've seen that happen. I know it for a fact.
Okay? I know of one or two.
Yeah. So these things do happen. So just to repeat again, International Women's Day. Again, the discussion of what I call soft skills. That needs to be part of the discussion every year, but we don't do that. Okay, it's more about women and their success, especially on the job and things like that.
Because nobody thinks people are not greeting, so that's kind of the last thing you're going to say. But if you want to talk about part of it as an etiquette, then of course that could be a subject.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I tell you. For example, I go to the gym sometimes, and I'm heading towards the door. Okay, and say 2, 3 young ladies are behind me. As a gentleman, I would open the door, I would hold the door and ensure that they pass. And in fact, I would greet them, as a matter of fact, okay? And you'd be surprised. They don't even answer. They don't even say thank you. Thank you, sir. Maybe sometimes they maybe even think you're trying something by holding the door for them.
I always turn around and say thank you. Before or after I say thank you.
You say good morning, you say good afternoon, good night to them. They just barely answering under their breath. I'm saying we need to do some work on that. There are instances where I am the one now who's coming after a young female. And I find that more so with the young ladies, and they wouldn't hold the door for you.
Just drop it on
you. They just let you go, let it go.
Yeah.
That's not nice, man.
It's two ways, Andre. It could be really that they manners, yes, values, yes, but sometimes you're so absent-minded you don't even realize what you're doing. So we have to always consider these people. You're absent-minded, you're coming into the gym, your mind, you're focused right now, and you're not looking anywhere other than, I'm going to go to this machine, that machine, I'm going to go to the desk, whatever. So not all of them are doing it because they are, they don't have manners, they don't have values. Some of them, they really, focus on what they're about to do. Seriously, Andre. For example, let me tell you what happened to me yesterday. Not yesterday, Friday when I was coming home. Same thing when I was coming home because of the darkness, right? I was on the left side, northbound, and the barriers in the road. Andre, because of the darkness, Andre, I could not really see, so I was driving a little slower than normal. Andre, the guy behind me was getting on with me endless by tooting. So I realized, Andre, I am going to think of safety. You can jump over me if you want. When he got the opportunity to pass, he slowed down. He didn't curse me. I didn't hear cursing, but he told me off.
Wow.
Yeah. So I rather slow down.
Young guy,
because
right?
I can't see.
Young guy?
I don't even know, Andre, honestly.
Most likely.
I'm like, if he only knew, instead of flying, if he only knew the southbound traffic blinding me, there are no street lights, and I am on the left side of our side, which is always better to be on the right side because the boulders are right there, right? And eventually I moved to the left, right? Because of the boulders, it's the 2-lane. Eventually I moved to the left, but it was really difficult for me. And Andre, I consider myself a good driver, but as we get older, sight and thing, I mean, I'm going to be honest, hence my reason for having glasses. I have to read. Without these, I can't read, So in the night, it was the lights were really affecting me. And I thought the best thing to do is to drive slower than normal. So if I'm driving too slow, fly over or go to the other side. But don't shout or get on with the driver.
Well, I'll tell you what his problem was. Maybe he had other things on his mind, as you said a while ago. He had probably had other things on his mind. He was worrying about getting home and not having, electricity. Yeah, if it applies for one, it should apply for others, right? Okay, so maybe that's what happened to him there. But you're right. All that's, again, part of the whole thing. When we talk about International Men's Day, Women's Day, and so on, all that should be part of the discussion because we just assume it's all about how well you do on the job. right? How successful you are. Because I listen to some
Not
of the
just
interviews.
on the job, but in general, what do you do? You know,
I
some of
listen to
them
the
spoke about
interviews
their mothers,
and all how is this
homes.
thing? It's just more about their accomplishments, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm just saying, you know, let's not forget the soft skills. And I said we're sorely lacking in that. It's really it's just bad, and you see it displayed on the road as well.
Road
right?
rage.
Yeah, road rage. People not willing to cooperate with you. All these bright lights all over the place. There, this has become like the norm right now.
It's terrible.
It's like
The
people just
lights
have
are-
these bright lights on, and that's unnecessary because our streets are well lit. There are lights all over. There's street lights
Well, not
all over
Friday,
the place.
huh? Not Friday.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
in
course,
Cass
that's a
Street because
separate
it's not
thing.
in the south.
And you
I
hear-
have to actually get night vision glasses.
Yeah, you actually hear motorists, especially the old. I don't know how the younger ones. Maybe they're able to manage, but older motorists are complaining about these white lights. Okay, and it's a problem. They
Or
prefer
triple.
they
They
prefer
put
not
more.
not driving.
They put more lights than they should
Yes,
have.
that's another thing
So
again.
that's blinding you.
There's one time I saw some pickup thing there, probably about 20 or 30 lights on that thing. Lights at the front, lights at
Top.
the bottom, lights at
Yeah.
the top. I said,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And these people are driving those vehicles and nobody stops them. At least they know when they're coming out with those things anyway. They figure the police are not around at that time. Anyway,
Andrew, do you ever see police on the beat at night?
not really.
I don't see them.
Yeah, not
Andrew.
really.
I see them in the day, but I don't see them in the night.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, they were on every move I made. I saw. Yeah, I remember that. But
Yeah.
I don't see that.
I think maybe policing now is an 8 to 4 job, maybe.
I hope not.
Yeah, that's
But
what
I
it
don't
is right
see
now.
it, Andre. I don't see it. Honestly, I don't.
And if they even if they're doing some night shift or something, they're just in an office. Yeah, and that's where you get the crazy stuff happening on the
In the
road,
night,
nighttime.
from the
Yeah,
evening
because they know
time,
the
yeah.
police are not around.
Or if they are around, they're not where we are. Let's put it that way.
So, Lady J, let's spare a thought for little girl, a little 4-year-old Sanaya O'Brien, that's in Jamaica. Okay, spare a thought for her. She was murdered. Well, this gunman fired several shots at her. He didn't care, and her father. He just didn't care. He was just firing indiscriminately. And I read this morning there were actually a couple other children inside the vehicle. So apparently the father was in the vehicle with his daughter, his 4-year-old, and 2 other children were in the vehicle as well. So he fired the shots there. Maybe he didn't intend to take the child. Maybe that wasn't his plan. Nonetheless, I mean, you see the guys there with the children, and he most likely is the intended target. So he just opened fire, and the child, of course, succumbed. The father got shot as well, but he survived. And I imagine as a father, he must be saying, "Boy, why didn't I go instead of her?" Kind of
course
thing.
you would
You know,
say
you
that.
feel terrible.
Yeah.
You feel terrible, and no doubt his life is still in danger. Most
Yeah.
likely, because those people are probably going to come back, try and get at him again. But this person that did it is a laborer. Is a 25-year-old. Well, sorry. The alleged shooter is a 25-year-old laborer, and they have him in custody. They've
Good.
already charged him with murder, wounding with intent, and conspiracy to commit murder. Right? So I already told you, if I were Prime Minister, and you exhaust all your avenues, you've appealed, you have your right to appeal and all those kinds of things, and everybody come back and say guilty as charged. I'm saying if I were the prime, a case like that, where you have no respect, you don't care, especially the most vulnerable, the little children. Nah, man, you can't go to no jail for the rest of your life. No, for you, firing squad. And I'm not talking about do it in public, right?
Yeah.
Whoever wouldn't like me will have to vote me out. But that's how I'll deal with them kind of people. These are evil
When
people.
in public, you would do it? The
No,
firing
I'm saying
squad?
that'll be
Oh.
in private. Oh yes, in the barracks. In
They
the
still have
barrack,
that?
in the police barracks.
We don't have
That's
that
where we're
again.
going.
Wasn't that
with you? And I'll be
taken
there,
down?
and I want to be there to witness it. Oh yeah. These are evil people, and you do society a favor by removing you from there. Just so you probably maybe somebody even paid him to go to do that. Remember the other one where the guy was in Trinidad, right, firing shots in the presence of the lady's little daughter. Trying her best to protect her child, and you walk up to her, the poor little child. Now you could see the child wants to go to her mom to help her because the mother's on the ground. The child is going to her mom, and of course the child realizes the guy is actually shooting, so she kind of runs away. This is just so it's heartbreaking watching those things.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. You're telling me them fellas, you put them in jail for life? Nah, you found guilty, firing squad for you. These are evil people. Get rid of those people. Let me tell you, even the Bible tell you, well, maybe that's Old Testament style. Say, do not feel sorry for them. People like, you don't feel sorry for them, and that's our problem. Oh, well, oh gosh, you have to do that to the person. Well, if I were Prime Minister, I guess people have to vote me out then, because that's exactly what I do.
Well, let's
I care.
continue saying an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Andre, but, interesting. I'm happy that they got him. Let's see if he's going to talk and say why.
And they suspect he has other people involved as well. But he's the first one. The police are looking for the others, because they believe that he wasn't the only one involved in that thing.
Oh, okay.
I suspect they believe somebody probably paid him to do it. Yeah, because these fellas, they have to collect, they have to draw. So I don't care. I'm going to do what I have to do. It doesn't matter who gets hurt.
Yeah.
Little innocent little 4-year-old child. The child is dead. And think of the little girl now who saw her mom being, both her mother and father, shot and killed right there.
Boy, I tell you.
In her very presence. That child will live that forever. Forever. I remember as a little girl, Nairobi had certain experiences in her life, right, that were not very, very pleasant at the time. And she remembers it. I asked her, she remembers the experience. Of course, you hope in time.
Ask her that for?
You hope in time.
Keep that in her subconscious.
No, but it's there. It's there. You can't play with that. It's there. And you hope now, with time now, that other things will come and supersede that, and it'll kind of drown it eventually. But
that's why it's in the subconscious. But eventually, it will come forward again.
Remember.
Especially she relieves it through something else. It comes back to you.
Yeah, but
after I had my daughter, certain things that happened to me at that age, as she was growing, I was remembering, and I hadn't remembered these things for years. So it's in the subconscious. It's there.
It's always
there. You block
there.
it, but it comes back.
And that's why they speak about getting counseling and so on to help you deal with those emotions. Imagine that you see both your mother and father murdered just in your very presence, man. And I watch those safari productions where you have animals, right? And the animals have a little offspring. And all how, say the mother is being attacked. You will see the offspring coming although the mother has been attacked, you see the offspring coming as close as possible. The offspring is aware that something is going on,
And it wouldn't run.
It wouldn't run.
Yeah.
It stays there. True. Because it knows that without the mother, it doesn't have the protection. So it comes as close as it can without being hurt. And sometimes the mothers get killed in front of it, and they just have to run away now, kind of on their own, right? And you're telling me a human being, man, right? The child is just doing what comes naturally, which is to try and cling to the mother. A son of a gun come and just throw the woman down. Well, she fell trying to protect the child. And you firing shots at her again. No. Right there, the woman is helpless, Poor little child had to watch that. You telling me them kind of fellas, leave them fellas there with life in prison? No.
Well, that's what the country is doing for that. It depends, if that's what the crime, when you do the crime, this is what it is, then that's what they get, Andre. If it is life in prison or whatever, that's what they're going to get.
Well, it's on the books, the capital punishment. It's just that they just don't do it, right? For whatever reason,
Jamaica?
That's Jamaica.
Jamaica?
Yeah.
Is it same thing in Jamaica?
Of course, they have it on the books there.
Okay.
Most of the countries in the Caribbean have it. They're just not carrying it out because they just I guess they don't have the will to do it, or maybe the backlash. If I do it, what will the US say? What will the human rights people say if I do it? They will boycott our tourism industry. These are the things that they think about. But I'll tell you something. You see right now, and look, this one I read about Australia. Australia now is making things difficult for children to watch porn, right? Yeah. Online. And a whole bunch of countries are moving in that direction. They're trying to protect the children now. Yeah. Now, it's all this liberalism, all this freedom, this whole thing about the West, and you have your rights and things like that, right? Now the chickens have come home to roost. So when they were critical of those countries like maybe Iran, right? Maybe countries like Turkey and Saudi Arabia, these people have they tight on those kinds of behaviors. They've been so for forever, right? And we tend to criticize them, say, oh, they're backward, they're not with it. There's not, and we apply pressure on them to change their values and so on. And these people stick to their values. You want to come there, refuse Rihanna, whoever wants to come to perform in the country, tell you, listen, you have to cover up. You can't come there and expose yourself like that in our country. We're not going to tolerate that. But the freedom that we've enjoyed all these years, you can do this, you're free, right? The chickens have come home to roost. Now they want to take action now and blaming social media companies for things that they wanted a long time ago. Freedom we want. And they say, these countries like Iran, they are backward and telling people they can't wear this and wear that. So now they have to do what they can now to save the children, Okay? But anyway, let's leave that there. All right?
You mentioned Rihanna.
Oh, yes. Yes.
While you were talking, and you heard what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know it was. I listened to you this morning, and you read that it was a woman.
Yes.
Well, when I saw it last night, and I went to read the little article, it didn't say anybody. So I'm happy that they found someone.
Yes, they arrested her. They arrested her miles away. Apparently, she drove up to the residence and Rihanna's mansion in Beverly
One
Hills,
of them.
and she opened fire. And they found the casings and everything on the ground, but she sped off. Now, we don't know what's going on, and you know what crossed my mind, but I wouldn't say what crossed my mind. I'm sure the same thing probably crossed your mind when you hear a woman drove up to the residence, open fire.
You mean jealousy?
Open fire.
Jealousy.
Well, I tell you,
bad boy ASAP Rocky, what you up to? According to Rihanna, Rocky.
A few things crossed my mind. I say, wow, boy. You know,
nothing crossed my mind other than the safety of the kids. That's what I thought of. The first thing I said, oh my goodness, 3 babies in there. You know, so I was happy that yes, she was there. They said, but not.
Yeah, she was there. She was there. So they haven't released the name of the female who did it, but I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
And they'll probably give a motive eventually as to what could have caused her to start this thing, because something has drove, unless of course she's not of sound mind.
Yeah, we're thinking Rihanna is safe, and look at this now. Forever Rihanna has to have, normally she has 1 or 2 security. Now she'll have to probably have about 6.
Another thing, just before we end, when ASAP Rocky had his case there in the US, I don't know why the wives or girlfriends do this. They bring the children into the courthouse.
Sympathy.
Right? You know, you remember
I saw when she
P. Diddy? Remember P. Diddy? The family there almost on a daily basis.
Twins.
I don't know. If I'm going through those kinds of things, I'd say to my wife or my girlfriend, please don't bring the kids there to see that.
I would do the same.
Yeah.
I would do the same.
But the fellas like that. As you said, it gains some kind of sympathy.
Yeah. It's probably sympathy. That's what
bringing the children inside the courthouse there, little kids to see that. Oh, gosh, boy. Anyway.
And you've got pictures, cameras on the kids. I mean, why? Leave the kids out of that, you know?
Okay, so let's get into the shout-outs, and a little later we'll be having the icing on the cake.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Oh yeah. We have the icing on the cake.
Josie Stevens says, nice jacket, Lady J. Thank you, Josie. Good morning to you. D.
So
Francis.
I tell you, you'll get all the compliments.
Andre, you're the one
I've been here for donkey years. I've been here for donkey years. I don't get any compliments. See? You'll get all the compliments.
D. Francis says, happy Monday, everyone. Andre,
happy
blessings. Monday. Andre with a Y.
Yes. Good morning to you, D. Francis.
Lady J and Kipasa.
Okay, Lady J. Yes. I'm sorry.
She said Kipasa, yeah. D. Francis.
D. Francis. Hope
Sharon
all is well.
Peters says, happy new week. Definitely.
You as well, Sharon.
Dakota Maguire says, good morning. Good morning to you.
Morning, Dakota. Hope all is well.
Josiane Alexander Larcher says, good morning, REV-UP family. Happy new week to all.
And good morning to the best neighbor in the world.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the cake again. Guess what? My mom didn't eat the slice I gave her. More for me. That's all I said. And hubby didn't want. More for me.
Are you serious?
More for me. Yeah. Pius Snappy says, good morning. Good morning to you.
Morning, Pius.
Erin says, bless Monday to all listeners. Lady J and Andre, have a productive week.
Morning, Erin.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure hearing from you. Boy, Erin is a definite convert right now, boy. Yes, it's great to have you, Erin. Thank you very much for chiming in when you do.
Paul St. Rose says, good morning, my REV-UP family. I'm back. Cricket and daylight saving time.
Yes, a big cricket fan.
Okay. Yeah, but they're back. Yeah, the U.S., they're back on our same time. So it's this person from, okay. Alexis Leonte says, good morning to everyone. Good morning, Alexis. Also, good morning, Andre and Miss Janice. Lady J will be fine. Thank you so much. Josie Stevens says, Gary was Grenada PM from the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yeah, we know that.
Yes.
Nisa Joseph Seeley says, so I thought. Okay, maybe somebody asked that question. I don't know. Joan Shalry says, bless Monday Morning, Andre, beautiful Lady J, and everyone in the chat room.
Morning to you.
Good morning. Yes, good morning, Joan. Thank you. Oswald Wilfred says, is watching. I guess he's watching.
Okay,
all right.
Oswald.
Uh-huh. Irene says, in that same building, I think house India Insurance and the Ministry of Health, the Environmental Department, because Mrs. Belmont George gave a statement. This is so sad, especially for the employees.
Oh.
Okay, so we need to check that statement from her. Yeah. Oh, wow. A.G. Simpson says morning. Good morning,
Now,
A.G.
so an insurance company was housed in there. Imagine that.
Yeah, in India.
Yeah.
Insurance. Yes, we've heard of them. Wow. Joan Shalry says, Alita Flavius, good morning, girlfriend. Where are you today? Okay, well you have to you'll have to make sure you. I guess she didn't do that. Send her a message. Okay. Diana Antoine says watching. Okay, Diana. Josie Stevens says, Lady J, no excuse for the ladies. What was it about? No excuse for the ladies.
Could be the thing with the door slamming in the face of. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Door. Travis says the LED lights are an issue.
LED.
LED? Erin Shalmine says, yep, it happens a lot. No manners, absent-minded or not. If someone holds the door for you, you automatically say thank you. Good customer service is also a problem as well. Yeah? Yeah, for true. Well, you know, I have to think of myself, and I do say thank you. So, yes, I always say thank you. It's now this Erin, okay. Dio Travis says, it's there for true. I remembered when my mother and her sister had a fight. Her sister cut her with a bottle on her arm, huge scar. I was scarred to death, and I never forgot. Yeah.
Exactly. So can you imagine a little picnic witnessing something like that? The parents been murdered, both of them. Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah.
And Irene says there were less police in my younger days, and they were on every corner in their shorts and knee. You see? You see? Wait, somebody's typing and it flew up in the middle of reading. That's what I'm saying. It's moving. There were less police in my younger days, and they were on every corner in their shorts and knee-high socks, day and night, with more than 5 times that amount now. You barely see them except for those giving tickets as soon as a vehicle pulls up. So true, Irene.
True.
So true. I remember when my dad was a cop, I even used to see him on the beat. I remember that.
But
nighttime, daytime.
But
yeah,
a caller, I don't know, well, I think he says he's a former police officer. He said something that was frightening. He said apparently that part of the criteria for them to be promoted includes the number of tickets that they actually able to ticket.
For the day.
Yeah, for the day. That has a lot to do with it. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary. So
and ridiculous.
You leave no room now. You leave no room for a little compromise.
Exactly.
Right. So maybe now we understand.
You have your elder mother. You picking up. They're going to give. What are you saying? They're going to give you a ticket.
Exactly. So some of them, they're just uncompromising. They just say to you, "Hey, you pack them," because it apparently is linked now to promotions and so on.
That's ridiculous.
That needs to stop.
I just hope that's not so.
Yeah, that needs
ridiculous. To stop. Okay. Josie says, Andre, it's an E. But you always simple.
All right, okay, Josie. I have to work on that. Hey, talking about that, Josie, I'm sure you know.
That's not Josie, your friend, eh?
Oh, that's not my Josie,
no,
friend.
I said Josie Stevens.
Oh, that's somebody else.
Josie Ann.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, so let me ask Josie Ann, because maybe she can weigh in. I see they broke down not the square, the rectangle that we have in the Clarity next to the school.
Yeah, what are they building there?
I don't know what they're doing, and I'm wondering whether the MP shared that with the constituents. I just saw them breaking down, and I imagine they're going to be building something else.
There. Yeah, I was wondering if it was for the school.
I have no idea. So, Josiane, I'm sure you might have some information for us on that one.
Yes, we need to know. All right, let's see now. It went up again, Andre, so you see I have to go back for it. I tell you. Yeah. When they're typing, that's what happens. All right, let's go. All right, the last one I read was on you, Andre. Let's see.
Yeah, well, maybe it's simple, yeah. I have to work on that.
Yeah, flew up.
Okay, folks, this is Harddrive, and Lady J's trying to figure out this
Catch
thing.
up.
Yeah, because she says once the people are typing live, then the thing jumps and so on.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that person, I read that from Erin. There are less people. Yeah, that's what I just read. Okay. Erin says, oh, thank you, Andre. It's a joy listening to Harddrive, and you do look handsome as well. Your colors brightening my day. One tell you simple, one tell you look handsome as well.
I think they just feel sorry for me now. That's all. They feel sorry.
They feel sorry for you, Andre?
They feel sorry for me.
Oh my goodness.
They say, oh, for true. Andre is there. He's not chopped liver.
Lady J, the person who chimed in about Gary being from Grenada, was in response to what Andre was speaking about, that Sparrow song, which Andre thought only spoke about African leaders. But the song does, it jump again, hold on. But the song does mention Gary being a wanted man. Oh, that's what they were talking about.
But I was very careful. I said 95% of the people that are mentioned are African leaders. I said 95%. I mentioned that there were a few other leaders that I said, the most important thing is that you don't hear one leader at that time from the West. Not one is mentioned.
Okay,
so apparently these are the good boys. Okay,
Andre, you missed that one because Erin says, King was on TV, I guess Minister King was on TV talking about the square. As Leclerc.
So what did he say?
She says, but I wasn't paying attention. Erin, why you put that comment there? Don't, you shouldn't even. Bad. Bad. All right. Yes, I think we must have missed some. Okay, the LED lights on. Iskew. Yeah. That's all I'm seeing here. Erin's own look like the last one.
Okay.
Is yours the last one, Erin? Please say yes. So nobody says I'm skipping. Okay.
Yeah, yes, that's a little.
Because they keep saying that.
Yes, you're deliberately skipping some of them.
Yeah. Why would I do that?
Okay.
I mean, that is please, a wasted thought. If you think I'm skipping, even in the middle of y'all typing, the thing is jumping up, and I have to go and find it. Yeah. All right. So we're going on to the platform.
The WhatsApp platform.
The WhatsApp platform. So, Erin, I'm looking out to see if you would put a little, mine is the last, because I guess she's looking at it. I'm going to take it from the 10 o'clock, Andre, because, this is from 9:47. That's not ours. Yeah, let's go with 9:24, 9:20. Good morning, Paul and Janice. Bless. I don't know who's calling me Janice on this platform. No. The other one says, I don't know. That's all they put. I guess they mean they're listening. Good morning, Andre and Lady J. I'm listening and enjoying the program. Have a blessed week. Good morning to you,
no name?
Bernadette Samuel.
Oh, okay, Bernadette.
Oops, okay. Morning, Team REV-UP. I'd like to know what to do. What do you think about Lent, the 40-day period? Some people think you should make it a miserable time. Stop this, don't eat this. But to me, it's doing less or even eating less, also showing more love, showing compassion, things you don't regularly do. This is the time for that, especially to our neighbors, our families, our workplace.
All right.
That was at 10:30. Yeah.
I wonder why the person brought up this Lent thing. I wonder.
Because we didn't discuss it, but anyway. Morning, Team REV-UP. Okay, that's the same person. Good morning, Mr. Paul. Please listen to this and give your thoughts. The British government gave 2 reasons. Okay, and they sent an attachment. Good morning to my favorite radio station. Blessings to you. Like Andra said, when kids call you by your name, they will get over it. But for me, they need to know their parents' name, and not my mummy's is mommy. Some parents are so hard on the kids, behave like they were never a child.
Exactly.
Point. True point. True that. Yeah.
And you know, and here's another sad one. When our children mess up, they do something wrong. Oh my gosh. And we want to kill them, not realizing that we adults
did the same.
We make
and even
mistakes,
worse.
and we make mistakes up to now. We're making bad, poor choices. But we want to get on the kids' case as though they're not supposed to make any mistake whatsoever.
Oh, Erin said hers was the last. Okay. So, Sylvester. Sylvester says, building is not Computer World owned. They are renting. Really?
Okay.
Ouch. Okay.
Well, they are the biggest sign there.
Never had a name, though. I never saw a name. That's true. This person says, greetings, guys. Give thanks for life this morning. Jagide, coming from Empress Bobo with love.
All right, Empress.
All right. Yes, Empress. Good day to Andrea and Lady J. And good day, KK. Well, it's KK. I guess they mean Kiki, right? Wherever she is. Lady J, I'm proud of, I guess, you. I'm proud of you for taking care of your mom. Have a great, wonderful day. Well, thank you very much. This is a Wendy Francisca Martin. Yeah,
okay, Wendy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's one of our regular listeners.
Okay.
And I'm glad she took note of that. Yeah. And to take the time to compliment you on that.
Oops. All right. Good morning to Andre and Lady J. Have a safe one.
Folks, yeah. I just throw a little water down there.
Some water there. Lots of water. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go.
Good day to Andre and Lady J. Have a safe and blessed one, I think.
Let me get a napkin.
Sylvester, yes, please do. Sylvester says, the owner was my employer. Okay, so who is your employer? You're giving us some information. You're not giving us all, Joseph. So he's trying to give us information on who owns the place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he says it's his employer. So I don't know. But that's the last message, Andre.
And talking about that, Mr. Sylvester, Lady J, you know, he said something last week that should be really, we should really be concerned about that. Okay? He was saying that as, I think he's considered permanently disabled because of his eye situation, right? His sight, right? He's lost a lot of his sight, although he's not completely blind. And he was telling me that he, because he's receiving some kind of assistance from the NIC, he's not allowed to take on any kind of employment.
No. Erin is the same thing. She applied. She's not allowed either.
Yeah. No, but we're talking about a blind somebody who
Erin has the
issues.
foot issue. It's the same.
What?
Erin has the foot. It's the same thing. If you apply for, what they apply for again?
Disability benefits.
Disability. Yes.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
You're not allowed to work.
Okay. So let's talk about that while we're here. All right. Okay. So somebody is considered to be blind, right? They were not born that way, but they became that way. And say they get in the little kakada from the NIC, which is a kakada for sure. Okay, it's not anything grand. Let's not kid ourselves, folks. Okay, I'm sure maybe just the minimum, maybe a $500, maybe a month. Let's just assume that it's $500.
It depends on how much you were working for before. So
Well, no.
So let's say your minimum is 5 now, because before it used to be 2, 3, 4.
Right,
now
exactly.
The minimum is 5.
Exactly.
So let's look at that. Yeah.
So Mr. Sylvester said that he was on the phone with somebody from the NIC, and they heard some sound like some kind of machine or something
going,
in the background, and they said to him, we hope you're not working, We hope you're not working, because if we find out that you're working, the benefits will stop. And I said to myself, well,
Why tell him that?
What
Just
can
go and investigate. Why tell the
But
man
investigate what? For what?
Well, that's their
For
job.
what?
That's
No,
a job, Andre.
That's
They
not
want
their
to
job.
investigate.
No, Lady J, that's not their job. Your job is to do what you're supposed to be doing at the office. That's none of your business. Why you want to get involved with the man? Get a little. So assuming, Lily J, let's just assume the man get a little thing to cut some grass, for example, or to help somebody to.
Well, for his eyes, not cut some grass. Let's look at something else. To cook some food.
Whatever. Right? He gets a little fellow say, "Millie, come and help me to hold that or something there, right? And I'm going to pay you for it." Okay, you're trying to tell me he cannot do that?
First of all, Andre, the man could have been at his home fixing his stuff at his home. So they should not have said that. Okay?
Yeah. But they shouldn't say it, period. Okay?
Yeah.
Leave the man alone. Leave him alone. What kind of employment do you think this gentleman can get? Huh? You think he's going to get some job that's going to pay him $10,000 a month or something like that? You think that's what he's going to get? The man is in a bad way already. I mean, I don't understand this kind of thing. I think the NIC should, maybe change their modus operandi and become investigators. Yeah, they should work. There should be a special branch, an additional branch that the police has, because the police need a lot of help. Okay.
Isn't that what they said also? If somebody dies, they make sure they check it so that stops whatever.
Yeah, if you have a boyfriend or something, right, and they find out that you're living with a boyfriend. Right, they'll find out. They go into the community and they ask questions. I mean, when I hear these kinds of things, I'm saying, but what kind of thing? What?
Shouldn't that be on the contract if that's the case, and just leave it as is, so that people know what it is?
I'm saying,
as opposed
Lady
to
J,
telling the people
where do they get these ideas from? You tell me somebody who's blind. Just think of that. The person is blind. Okay, maybe I can understand it. Some kind of, depending on what else that the person could be able to afford to do to make some extra money. But this is a blind person. You're telling me you're so rigid that person cannot do anything else but just wait for the little kakada that they get in there? And these people have no shame, man, whoever you all are, that doing those things. You see, with me, I guess maybe I can't work at places like that, because I'll just turn a blind eye. If it's me, I turn a blind eye to that sort of thing. The man gets a little job to do something. You're gonna make an issue of that. All these things, folks, moving forward, right? Moving forward, these things need to change.
I hope invalidity benefits, not disability.
Well, whatever it is, I'm talking about his situation, right? Moving forward, and I really hope when fellas like me, when I finally go on the other side and not here anymore, I really hope that there's some body or some bodies will, take that baton and continue to speak out against the system, right? Because these things need to change. We've come to accept those things as being normal, and we just go with the flow and accept it as being something that, other countries do it. That's another thing that's getting me pissed again. So-and-so is doing it, so-and-so in America. People come with them kind of arguments. I'm a blind person, have a little job. You're telling the person, I hope you're not working, because if you're working, the benefits going to stop.
Yeah.
Get us benefits.
That's not called for.
After all, man, you just turn a blind eye to something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry for the pun there. When I say you turn a blind eye, just pretend you didn't hear that. Pretend you didn't see that. What's the big deal? What, God going to punish you for that if you do that?
And the staff have to think that one day they themselves won't be working.
Exactly.
They will also be receiving the benefits. So, kindness is so important.
Thank you very much, Lady J.
Kindness is so important.
And remember, I keep talking about the soft skills for both men and women. Anyway, so
we have Madeline Alexander says, good morning, everyone. Have a blessed day. And Nancy Gracelyn answered something here to Erin, I guess. She says, Erin, I am having so much trouble with my foot. I wish you would share what your issue is. Maybe that would... It's jumping. People are typing now, Andre. Who told me?
Okay, we have to end.
People would really help me. I could barely walk. Okay, so that's them. And then this is one from Madeline. She says, for the money, he already paid NIC. So he can get after retirement troops. If he's getting $500 from NIC, you're telling me they cannot work to make extra to survive. Shame on them.
Exactly.
Well, we didn't say if he's getting 5, eh? That's the minimum, just in case. That's just the minimum, so we were just drawing that figure. But he didn't discuss what he was getting. We were just looking at the situation, what transpired. Yeah.
Okay, so what's coming up on your show, Lady J?
Yeah, the usual hit of the day. I think we have the insurance people today, Andre.
Okay.
Yes, they'll be here at 10.
What time?
They'll be here at 2 today.
All right.
Yes, so we'll be seeing them at 2 about insurance, and I'm hoping that they will probably talk a little bit about fire. Maybe that's since it's
yes.
It's in the air.
Be sure to ask them.
Yes, since it's in the air, maybe that would be something that they should talk about, so we can be a little more educated on that, Andre. Yes, And entertainment report. Yeah, that's happening. And today, I think I will probably talk about something on health today. Yes, I have so many. So I will
a lot
select
coming up.
one, yes.
Alrighty, folks.
Select
So
one.
Lady J is going to be on the REV-UP Center until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Then from 3 is going to be Zen the DJ until 6. By the way, Zen was there on the weekend, huh?
He left already?
He left yesterday. I gave him a ride to the airport.
Zen didn't even say hi to me.
He had a vibe. He had a vibe, a boat ride that he was, he was on a boat ride. I think Sunday. Was it Saturday? Saturday or Sunday? Saturday. Saturday. I think the boat ride was
It had to
Saturday.
be Saturday if you took him yesterday.
Yeah, and then he left yesterday. Happy boy, happy boy.
Yeah, of course.
Happy boy.
Enjoy life.
Yeah. And of course, he seems he likes to travel. He likes the plane thingy,
Like me, I
which is
love it
not
too,
which is not my
Andre.
thing at all.
Love it.
Like for example,
You like to drive,
now you'll have
yeah.
to worry about getting a visa to go to the US, getting a visa to go to England. I don't fancy that at all. I like
Andre,
my.
it's important to have it. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, well, if I have
So
to,
it's
if I
important to
have
have-
to get it, I'll go
Yeah,
get it. But
it's
for me
important to
alone, I am bothered with that. I don't have one. I'm not interested. I really don't care about that. To be honest with you, whether it's
Yeah.
England, whether it's America, I'm just not interested. Right? I love my little St. Lucia.
I do.
It's just a little crime thing that was. I shouldn't say something.
No, every
it's just
country
a
has
crime
crime, Andre.
problem that we have. Apart from that, we have a beautiful place. Okay.
We do.
Right.
We do. All countries have crime.
Alrighty, so now, folks, I promise that as best as I can every day, we're going to be having something I decided to call the icing on the cake, right, when we're ending our Harddrive program. So today now, I have a gentleman there who is talking about his experience with a horn. Okay, so he got a horn, and he got a real bad one. In fact, so much so, he said that when he found out what was going on, he said he tried to go to the airport to kind of block the person from leaving. Yeah, he said he had to pass security. Security ran after him. And
Of course.
Yeah, because he wanted to meet up with this lady and he said he invited this guy to his house. The guy was there, treated the guy well. He gave the guy a pillow to sleep on all the while. The man checking his wife. Can you imagine that? So let the gentleman give you the story himself.
Voilà, c'est ça. Yon seul bagay moi sa expérience dat moi te marié avec madame moi avec les fini. Il mène yon non moi dans kay la qui moi c'est foi qui était là. Les moi vini dans kay la moi hog nom là. Moi bay bouk la couche, moi bay bouk la zoyer tout bagay ko ha. Avec le demain moi moi un travail moi hen madame moi retourne dans kay la foi. Avec les gars yon semaine après moi vinn sans nom ça était bien payé. Moi, puis, il y a un problème. Juste attends, quitter Saint-Lucie au Canada pour 42 years. Là, il allait pour 42 years, là, les vieux Saint-Lucie. Not try to parler, who is you? Where you come from? I don't know you. Ça a really brûlé, moi. Là, il a quitté Saint-Lucie. Là, moi, il va sous la porte, là. Là, moi, t'en ai de aller. Moi, il va home, moi. Tu m'as maladie, moi, daddy, mommy kiss me and mommy go. Là, moi, regardez, moi, t'es savais de comment. Moi, juste moi, en taxi, moi, aller, UNR Airport, bien fort. Là, moi, il va bien fort, c'est là, moi, t'en son jet là, comment. Et là, moi, passer immigration, moi, police, tu es, moi, moi, il dit, hamo. Et c'est ça, y'en y fait, moi. Et c'est ça, femme, gars, cheat, non, c'est quoi, gars. Ça t'est mauvais. Moi, elle est tout, et moi, elle est.
Andre, this one I cannot laugh at it. Huh? That's sad for the man. How are we? I will laugh at the fun of it, but I'm not laughing at the story. Yeah, poor man. Mm-mm.
I'm not laughing at him, you know.
No.
I laugh at what he said.
You're right, yeah.
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 And imagine man say he tried to
That's
go.
wickedness.
He tried to go and get the lady and everything, but he said security came after him. Nah, but this you have to say bravo to these people, to come and speak about that. Boy, me if it's me, I keep that quiet. I'm not talking about it at all.
Sometimes sometimes that's the thought that comes in at the moment when you ask a question. So you let it out.
All right, folks.
I'm sure he's feeling much better since letting it out.
Yeah, and the lady said to him, "Where you come from?"
Not the lady that said that, not the man.
She said that to him, where you come from? Because she has a Canadian accent apparently, or is that she was that? All right, folks, so this has been our icing on the cake for today. Hopefully we can have a lot more every single day on Harddrive. All right, Lady J? So have yourself a great show. Do enjoy yourself, folks, and keep listening to Rev-UP St. Lucia until, well, in fact, the rest of the day. Lady J will be until 3. Remember, Zen from 3 until 6. So Andre Paul saying a big thank you for listening. Let me say thank you to the folks on DBS, the folks on Facebook, on YouTube, on X. Thank you so much. Every platform across St. Lucia.
And 95.9.
Yes, have yourself a great day. Alrighty? Bye-bye. This has been Harddrive, brought to you the compliments of Rambali's Funeral Parlor.
At Rambali's Funeral Parlor, we truly care. During life's most difficult moments, we want you to know you are not alone.
At Rambali's, we are dedicated to providing dignity, compassion, and comfort when you need it the most.
Our caring team is here to walk with you every step of the way, whether it's in planning a gentle farewell or celebrating the beautiful life of your loved one.
We understand how precious they are, and we promise to honor their memory with the utmost respect and love.
Let us help you find peace and solace during this challenging time.
Please reach out to us at
758-452-2021, Castries, or 758-454-9239, Latuni, Viewfort, or visit us at ramballysfuneral.com.
We're here for you, ready to listen, support,
and serve with heartfelt compassion. You can lean on us.
At Rambali's,
we care.
From coast to coast,
I would love to hear it.
we're revving up the airwaves
Are you sleeping?
on 95.9 FM, the Alpha of Radio.